Welcome back. We're here to talk about Tuesday night's match between Burnley and Newcastle. Pascal, we'll start with Burnley. They got a draw against Aston Villa last time out.
Yeah, no, a point to point. It's decent for them at the bottom, but they're the sort of games they really have to be winning, isn't it? You know, you welcome Aston Villa, who are terribly out of form at the moment, at home at Turf Moor. You know, they're the games, if they want us to try and get out of the bottom three, they're the games they have to win, you know. I mean, it's a point, you know, they came back well, they went behind, Joe Cole scored the goal, and then they won a late penalty. Great penalty from Ings, fired it in high into the net, and then he almost won it late on, hit the post, you know. He's definitely developing as such a key player for them, but they need, you know, big performances from elsewhere. I think the midfield especially, they need more goals from midfield. I think that's where they really need to sort of bomb on from.
They have improved recently, haven't they? 3 games without defeat now, 2 wins in a row, and then that draw. The worry for me would be their home form. Home form can be so key if you're down there scrapping for your lives at the bottom of the table. They've only got 1 home win all season. That was the win against Hull a couple of weeks ago. So they do need to improve in that area of the field, and Sean Dyche will want that to happen sooner rather than later.
Definitely, and I think Ings, like, it's just whether he can, if he can't keep up this form, you know, you have to look to other players. Don't you? And Sam Vokes, you know, they were such a key partnership last year, and he recently made his return for the under-21s from injury. So, you know, if them two can come back, but Ings especially, he's like looking in such great form recently that, like I said, a great penalty, and then the when he hit the post late on, it was a lovely play. Like, just went past his man, and then just so unlucky came back off the inside of the post, and he's looking in great form for the England under-21s as well over the international break. He was fantastic. Went on a few great runs, and he's got so many different things he's good at: finishing, dribbling. I think if he can keep developing like this, you know, there's no reason why in say 3-4 years' time he couldn't be an England striker.
He's coming up against formidable defence. Though Newcastle have been superb at the back recently. Lost to West Ham last time out. That would have been a disappointing one, but they won such a good run of form. It was always going to come to an end at some point. That ended a run of 6 straight victories, which, you know, it's a hell of a run. They've gone up from the bottom of the table towards the top 4 now, which is a superb run of form. Defeat in West Ham would have been a disappointing one for them. It's always going to be a tough place to go, Upton Park, West Ham in that form. But the manner in which it happened, lost to Sissoko to a stupid red card. Pardew will not be happy about that. And these are the sorts of games they want to get back to winning ways now.
Yeah, and especially given the fixtures they've got after this one, you know, going to Burnley is definitely a winnable game for them. We know that Burnley, you know, for the most part, they're probably still a championship quality side. So they're the game for Newcastle they look at winning, because the next 3 fixtures after this, they host Chelsea, obviously runaway league leaders, probably the best team, you know, considerably in the division so far, and then they they travel to North London to face Arsenal and Spurs in the next 2. So those 2 fixtures are really difficult, and you know, it's hard to imagine them, you know, winning any of those games really. And if they fall to 3 defeats there, they might, you know, soon find themselves near the bottom, because they're only about 8 points away from the drop zone. So yeah, tough times coming up, I think, for Newcastle.
What's your score prediction for this one?
Yeah, I think, you know, this is definitely a winnable game for Newcastle. Burnley, you know, you said about their home form being a bit iffy, and I think, you know, Newcastle, they'll look at this and think, this is a game we have to win. So I think they're going to probably nick it 2-1.
Yeah, I don't see too many goals, to be honest. I think I agree with Newcastle win. I'm going to go for 1-0. So both going for now and Newcastle victories. Thanks for watching.